Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Build Your Body and Mind podcast, where we explore the journey of personal growth, wellness, and transformation, both inside and out. I'm Coach Gill, and today I'm taking things in a more personal direction. I want to share what's been going on in my life these past couple of years. Don't worry, it's not going to be too long. But I am going to share what's been going on with my life and some of the things I've experienced because I'm going through a process where I am planning on reinventing myself at 56 years old. And I'm planning to create a brand around my life and my experiences. I'm doing this wide open in front of everyone. I haven't succeeded yet, by the way. I'm only starting. I'm doing this in front of everyone because I think that might be the solution for many people in situations similar to myself. So, if you've ever thought about making a big change, whether it's in your career, mindset, health, this episode might be for you. So, just a little bit about me. You might know, but I've been an expatriate for 25 years now. And of that time, I've spent the last 20 years in France. I've traveled quite a bit. Even though I was based in France, I've traveled quite a bit. I like to say I was a nomad before it was cool. Um, And what's been going on is, if I tell you I'm 56 and my mother's still living, yeah, she's getting old as well. And the end of last year, while my mother is doing pretty good, she's almost 85. She just needs more help. And I guess from a very young age, I knew. So after my father died, really, that was a long time ago. That was maybe 30 years ago. After my father died, I knew that at some point, even in my wanderings around the world, I would come home and I would look after her at the end, and then when she dies, I would go off and do my thing. Well, and I should say, fortunately, but it makes things more complicated. Fortunately, she's not on her deathbed. In fact, I think she's got a few good years in her. And trust me when I say that's a blessing. My mother's my best friend, and I want her with me as long as possible, especially since she has her brain. Her brain works, it's very sharp, almost too sharp. She doesn't forget enough, really, but that's another discussion. Anyhow, but she needs help getting around. She needs someone here most of the time to look after her. So that's a long way of saying I'm here back in the United States at her place. And I've been here since, I guess, the December of last year. And it's safe to say my life is in limbo. I can't really earn money exactly the way I was when I was in France. Um, I basically have to come up with something to generate money, but I don't want a full-time job. Well, for a lot of reasons. I haven't worked for someone in a long time. But other than that, if I take on a real full-time job that makes real money, then I'm never here. So that sort of defeats the purpose, doesn't it, of being closer to your mother? Anyhow, with all that being said, that's where the idea of creating a brand around my life. For me, this journey didn't happen overnight. It came from years of learning, setbacks, and growth. But one day I realized I wasn't done yet. I wasn't ready to settle into a comfortable life. And that was before this moment, taking care of my mother. I knew that things weren't really going to stay the same. As much as, I really enjoyed myself in France. It would be great if everything stayed the same. My mother's healthy and strong and can live without me. I can come see her when I want. She can visit me. I can keep my life in France, but I can't. And really, at this point, I'm put into a position where I'm going to have to change. And that's where I bring in the topic of reinvention. Um, Reinventing yourself sounds like something that only happens when you hit a major life crisis, but in reality, it's something we can all do it at any time. It just so happens that showing up here with my mother has instigated that. It's also caused me to think about, I am in pretty good shape at 56. What am I going to do with the rest of my life? So, just for facts, reinvention doesn't have an age limit. That's one of the most important lessons I've learned. I think sometimes society tells us that after a certain age, we should have everything figured out, that once we hit our 50s, we should be set in our ways. But I know I'm not. Maybe it's unusual to have an expatriate living outside of the country for so long to return and come home. I think that might be a little different, but I think there are more people like me at my age than not who have to make some serious choices. And in fact, that 50s can being in your 50s can be a time of incredible growth because we've already experienced so much. So here's the thing. I do think at 56 I have wisdom, life experience, definitely a lot more than I had when I was in my 20s and 30s. I'm resilient. I've faced challenges. I've developed a better understanding of who I am. And because of that, I'm more confident in taking risks, trying new things, creating something that feels authentic to me. It's not too late to change careers, start, in my case, a new business. I've started a few, but they've been very traditional, or to learn new skills. And this time around, for this business, right, the goal is to build a brand that reflects everything I've learned over the years. I'm new to this. I'm exposing myself because I'm hoping people will follow me, watch, see what I do, and if it works, you can copy. And well, if it doesn't work, well, then by all means, don't copy me. We don't know. So let's get to it. What does it mean now that you understand a little bit about my background? What does it mean to create a brand around your life? And for me, it's about taking all the experiences, passions, and the lessons I've gathered over the years and turning them into something that can inspire and help others. I've been a digital nomad. I've embraced the fitness and wellness lifestyle. I'm surrounded. That is who I am. Huh? I do, but I am a triathlete at heart. I'm a runner at heart. I do believe in endurance sport. I've built podcasts, and now I'm packaging all of that into a cohesive message that represents who I am today. Oh, and I should say I'm a writer, which is actually the most important after my endurance sport. Building a brand isn't about marketing or social media. From what I've understood and research, it's all about authenticity. It's about being real with yourself and with your audience. I'm doing my best. I'm trying to be authentic. Well, I am authentic, but if I'm too authentic, I might ramble and ramble. Really, I could talk to a wall. So I do have to keep myself. If you listen to my podcast, I am quite on script. So to prevent, well, what I'm doing now. Anyhow, um, for me, it's about being real with yourself and your audience, like I said. And I've asked myself, what do I care about? What do I want to share with the world? What's most important to me? And the answer was clear. I want to help others reinvent themselves no matter their age. I want to inspire people to keep growing, to keep challenging themselves, and to never stop evolving. I'm not going to lie that with all this, oh, I'm so great, I'm going to build a brand around myself. I really don't think I'm great. In fact, it's just the opposite. I get a lot of self doubt that creeps in, especially the question, well, who do I think I am to start something? Say, oh, yes, I'm going to create a brand around myself. Who do I think I am? And is anyone going to care what I have to say? These are the thoughts that have held me back, and I'm sure they help many other people back from making big changes. But I realized that every time I listened to those doubts, I was standing in my own way. So if you're thinking about starting something new, whether it's a business, a hobby, or even a new lifestyle, my advice is don't wait for permission. You don't need to have it all figured out before you take the first step. The act of moving forward, of doing something, even if it's small, will build your confidence and clarity along the way. This isn't my advice, actually. A number of very important influencers have said this. Just start doing something. And I do think when I first started this, I was actually on a different trajectory of where I thought this brand was going to go. And as I started doing things and watched them fail, it helped me develop more clarity as to where I'm going. So, believe me, I didn't have all the answers and I still don't. But the more I've leaned into my passion for fitness, self-improvement, travel, wellness, relying on what I've learned as just being a nomad, the more things are slowly beginning to align. And I'm allowing myself to evolve into this thing, whatever I'm going to be. And I'm guessing that's where the magic really happens. One of the most rewarding parts of this journey has been connecting with others through my writing, podcasting, coaching. I've had the opportunity to meet, well, don't forget traveling. I've had the opportunity to meet people who are also on their paths of reinvention. And in this case, it doesn't matter what age, the common thread is that we all have the ability to change, grow, and redefine our lives. While I don't always rely on it, it's clear community is powerful. Surrounding yourself with people who inspire you, who support your vision, and who encourage you to keep going, even when the road gets tough. When you're building something new, especially later in life, it helps to know you're not doing it alone. And I do hope that that's what, if anything, you get from this, because I'm going to try to start sharing a little bit more about myself and how I'm creating this brand again. So maybe if it works, you can copy me. As I continue building, I'm reminded every day that reinvention is an ongoing process. It's not a one time decision, it's a commitment to yourself, your passions, and to the life you want to live. If you're sitting there thinking about making a change, whether it's big or small, let this be the sign you've been waiting for. Remember, it's never too late to start something new. Age doesn't define you, your experiences do. If you're willing to put in the work and stay true to yourself, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Thank you for joining me on this personal episode of Build Your Body and Mind podcast. I tried not to ramble on too much, but again, it is what I do. I try to stay on track. If my story resonates with you, I'd love to hear from you. Reach out on social media, share your thoughts, and let me know how you're reinventing yourself. And if you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. It really helps others find the show. Until next time, keep building your body and mind, and remember, you're never too old to rewrite your story. This is Coach Gill, and I hope I'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye. Bye.